Ever catch yourself doing something simple standing up, walking across the room, reaching for a cup, and for a split second, it feels harder than it should, like your body hesitates, like it's asking for permission it never needed before, and you brush it off, you laugh it off. You say, "That's just age." But deep down, there's this quiet voice saying something isn't right. Something is changing. And here's the truth most people never say out loud. By the time you reach 75, your body doesn't just age. It starts quietly shutting certain systems down. Not all at once, not dramatically, but slowly, subtly, in ways that are easy to ignore, until one day they're impossible to deny. And the scariest part is this isn't some rare condition or bad luck. It's happening to almost everyone, including you. Including people who thought they were doing everything right? And if you don't understand what's going on, you don't just lose strength or energy. You lose control, independence, confidence. And piece by piece, life starts getting smaller without you even realizing it. And I want to tell you a story because this isn't theory. This is real life. There was a man named Robert, 75 years old, sharp mind, proud, independent, the kind of guy who never asked for help. And one morning, he stood up from his chair and felt that strange delay. Not pain, not injury, just a lag, like his body wasn't syncing with his mind. And he ignored it. Of course he did. Because that's what we all do. We ignore the small signs. But those small signs were the beginning of something bigger. Because the first shutdown already happening inside your body right now is your muscle system. And no one prepares you for how aggressive this is. Your body is literally breaking down muscle faster than it rebuilds it. Every single day, especially if you're not actively using it. And here's the brutal reality. Your body doesn't care about your plans. It cares about efficiency. If you don't use a muscle, it assumes you don't need it. And it starts removing it, like clearing out old files from a computer. And suddenly things that used to feel automatic standing, walking, lifting, even maintaining posture start requiring effort. Real effort. And what feels like weakness is actually loss. Actual physical loss happening under the surface. And it doesn't stop there, because while your muscles are fading, your balance system is quietly following behind. And this one is even more dangerous because it doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers, a slight wobble here, a missed step there, a moment where you grab the wall just in case. And you tell yourself it's nothing, but it's not nothing. It's your coordination system losing precision, your brain, your inner ear, your nervous system all getting just a little less sharp at working together. And that tiny delay, that tiny miscalculation, that's all it takes, because falls don't come out of nowhere. They come from a buildup of ignored warnings. And once a serious fall happens, everything can change overnight. Independence, mobility, confidence, all of it shaken in a moment. And then there's your energy, or more specifically, the slow shutdown of your metabolism, which hits in a way that feels almost unfair. Because you're doing what you've always done, eating what you've always eaten, living how you've always lived. But suddenly, your body reacts differently. It stores more, burns less, tires faster, recovers slower, and you start feeling like you're running on half a tank, no matter how much rest you get. And that's because your internal engine has shifted. It's not broken, but it's no longer working at the level it used to. And without intervention, it keeps slowing down. And right alongside that, something even more personal begins to slip. Your mental sharpness, your memory, your clarity. And this one is subtle, almost sneaky, because it starts with little things. A forgotten name, a misplaced item, a moment of what was I saying again? And it feels harmless at first, even a little funny. But over time, it builds. And what's really happening isn't just aging, it's underuse, your brain. Just like your muscles, responds to challenge, and without it, it begins to dull. Connections weaken, processing slows, and that sense of quickness, that sense of being fully present, starts to fade, and for many people, that's the moment they begin to withdraw. Not physically, but mentally, emotionally. They stop pushing themselves, stop engaging deeply, stop expecting more from their own minds, and that leads into another quiet shutdown that almost no one talks about. Your emotional drive, your spark, your desire to participate in life. And this doesn't feel like a system failure. It feels like just getting tired, like preferring peace. But there's a difference between peace and disconnection. And once that emotional engagement starts fading, everything else accelerates. Because when you stop caring deeply, you stop trying fully. And when you stop trying, your body and mind both follow that lead. And this is exactly what happened to Robert. Not all at once, but slowly, layer by layer, he moved less. He challenged himself less. He engaged less. And one day he realized something had changed. Not just in his body, but in his life. Things felt smaller. Options felt fewer. And that sense of control he once had didn't feel as strong anymore. And that's the moment most people either give up or wake up. Now here's where everything shifts, because the story doesn't have to end there. And this is the part most people never hear. Your body, even at 75, even after all these changes have started, is still listening, still adapting, still capable of responding in powerful ways if you give it the right signals. And no, this isn't about becoming a different person overnight or pushing yourself into extremes that feel impossible. It's about understanding that small, consistent actions can interrupt these shutdowns and even reverse parts of them. Because your muscles, as quickly as they weaken, can begin to rebuild when they're used again, even gentle. Regular movement sends a message that they are still needed. And your balance, as fragile as it may feel, can improve when it's challenged safely and consistently. Simple acts of awareness and practice can retrain your system to respond more quickly, more confidently, and your metabolism, slow as it may have become, can be reawakened through movement, better nutrition, and intentional habits that remind your body it still has work to do. And your mind, perhaps the most powerful part of all this, can regain sharpness when it's stimulated, when it's pushed to think, to learn, to engage, to stay curious instead of retreating into routine. And that emotional spark, that sense of purpose, that reason to get up and care about the day, that doesn't disappear unless you let it. It can be reignited through connection, through meaning, through reminding yourself that life is still happening right now, not just something that happened in the past. And this is where the real decision comes in, because you can continue ignoring the signs, telling yourself it's too late, that this is just how things go. Or you can recognize that while aging is inevitable, decline at the speed most people experience is not entirely fixed. There is space, real space, to influence how this next chapter unfolds. And it doesn't require perfection. It requires awareness and action. And let me be clear, this isn't about chasing youth. It's about protecting function, protecting independence, protecting the ability to live life on your terms for as long as possible. Because once that independence starts slipping, it's incredibly hard to regain. And that's the piece that matters most. Not just living longer, but living with control, with dignity, with the ability to choose how your days look. And if you're still here, still listening, still thinking about this, then that means something. It means you haven't checked out. It means you still care, and that alone is powerful. So here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right after this moment, decide one thing, just one, that you're going to stop ignoring. Maybe it's movement. Maybe it's your diet. Maybe it's your mental engagement. Maybe it's reconnecting with something that once gave you purpose. Choose it, commit to it, and start small. But start now. Because waiting is exactly what allows these shutdowns to continue. And action, even small action, is what interrupts them. And if this hit you in any way, if you felt even a small realization, don't keep it to yourself. Share it. Talk about it. Because chances are someone else in your life is going through the same silent changes and doesn't even have the words to explain it yet. And sometimes one conversation, one shared idea, can be the thing that wakes them up too. And at the end of the day, this isn't about fear. It's about awareness. It's about understanding what's happening inside your body so you can respond instead of react. So you can stay ahead instead of falling behind. Because you're not done, not even close. But what happens next depends on what you choose to do now. Not later, not someday, but now while you still can. If you really want this kind of content to explode, not just get views, but hold people for the full 20 to 25 minutes and make them feel something strong enough to comment and share, you need to think beyond just information and start designing experience. The biggest mistake most creators make in this niche is they talk at the audience instead of pulling the audience into the story. Your script should feel like a one-on-one conversation where the viewer quietly thinks, wait, this is about me. That emotional recognition is what creates retention. So instead of dumping facts, you anchor every idea in a relatable moment, standing up from a chair, forgetting a name, feeling off balance for a second, because those micro moments trigger self-awareness, and self-awareness keeps people watching. Now layer that with pacing. Never let a sentence feel complete emotionally. End thoughts in a way that creates curiosity for the next line. Use interruptions, abrupt phrases, short punches like, and that's where it gets scary. Or, but nobody talks about this part. Because the human brain is wired to resolve tension, and that tension keeps them locked in. Mixed tones aggressively go from serious to slightly humorous, then back to emotional, because monotony kills retention faster than anything else. Even a small line of humor, like your body basically unsubscribed from your muscles, resets attention and makes the message more memorable. Also, speak in direct second-person you almost the entire time. Avoid sounding like a lecture or documentary, because that creates distance. You want intimacy, not authority. Another key is pattern interrupts every 20 to 40 seconds. Shift something. Tone, pace, topic angle, or emotional intensity. This prevents mental fatigue and boosts watch time significantly. And don't forget strategic repetition, not copy-paste repetition, but emotional echoing. Revisit the same idea in a slightly different way later in the script, so it feels deeper, not redundant. That's how you make a message stick. Now for engagement, don't wait until the end to ask for comments. Drop soft engagement triggers mid-script like, be honest. Has this happened to you? Or, you don't have to say it out loud, but you know what I mean, right? This creates silent interaction, which psychologically increases the chance of actual comments later. Then near the end, hit them with a clear, simple call to action that feels personal, not promotional. Comment one thing you're changing today. That works because it's specific and actionable. For virality, your hook must create immediate tension and identity connection in under 5 seconds, something like a direct question or uncomfortable truth. Avoid slow intros completely. No greetings, no build-up. Jump straight into disruption. Also, your title and script must align perfectly. If your title promises 6 body shutdowns, make sure the script delivers them in a story-driven way without feeling like a list. Because curiosity must be satisfied, but never in a boring format. Finally, the most important thing, emotion over perfection. People don't share well-written content. They share content that hits them. So don't aim to sound smart, aim to sound real. Slight imperfections, conversational rhythm, even a bit of rawness makes it feel human. And human is what builds trust, retention, and ultimately, viral growth.